Watch Cat Matlala says he rushed to police after the raid, thinking balaclava-clad men were criminals. A startling, high-impact fact about a businessman sprinting into a police station, claiming he thought an armed raid on his home was carried out by criminals, only to learn it was allegedly the state itself behind the balaclavas. Preview the journey. The chaotic raid, the confusion, the political fallout, the parliamentary tension, and the unanswered question how does a raid look so criminal that the victim reports it to police? Promise a sharp, unexpected insight about state power versus citizen perception. Pose a bold question. If armed men stormed your home wearing balaclavas, would you know instantly whether they were police or criminals? Invite comments on what viewers would expect law enforcement raids to look like in a constitutional democracy. Intriguing question opener. Right arrow cat's shock as the raid unfolds. Right arrow real-world fear. Right arrow takeaway on situational awareness. Surprising insight opener. Right arrow why the balaclava's blurred lines. Right arrow public trust impact. Right arrow advice on documenting emergencies. Vivid scenario opener. Right arrow cat enters station breathless. Right arrow officers stunned. Right arrow takeaway on reporting suspicious enforcement actions. Personal anecdote opener. Right arrow dual fact reveal. Armed, masked, unidentified. Right arrow public implications. Right arrow advice on verifying credentials. Thought-provoking advice opener. Right arrow contradictions in accounts. Right arrow ripple effects. Right arrow takeaway on legal rights during raids. Intriguing question opener. Right arrow MPs demand clarity. Right arrow oversight role. Right arrow takeaway on civic accountability. Surprising insight opener. Right arrow unsigned statement controversy. Right arrow political tension. Right arrow takeaway on proper documentation. Vivid scenario opener. Right arrow heated exchanges. Right arrow transparency demands. Right arrow punchy takeaway on institutional interrogation. A dynamic but brief CTA encouraging likes plus comments tied to accountability themes. Deepening twists, oversight themes, implications for public trust, and the broader justice system narrative. Fresh angle. Right arrow request for detailed chronology, takeaway on legal follow-through. Anecdote opener. Right arrow expert concerns. Right arrow practical rights advice. Scenario opener. Right arrow parties respond. Right arrow governance implications. Right arrow on democratic oversight. Question opener. Right arrow deeper details. Right arrow emotional impact. Right arrow dual fact punch. Surprising insight. Right arrow clash of accounts. Right arrow actionable advice on requesting ID. Anecdote from community responses. Right arrow misinformation risk. Right arrow validating claims. Expert quote block. Right arrow constitutional framing. Right arrow practical steps for citizens. New trend insight. Right arrow upcoming hearings. Right arrow civic expectation. Right arrow staying informed. Thought-provoking closer broader theme. Policing culture, fear, and transparency. Right arrow punchy civic advice. A smooth synthesis connecting the confusion, political oversight, unanswered questions, and what the coming sessions may reveal. Tease next video covering the committee's decisions or new revelations.